It's the 8th of September and we're now going to dig our fourth bed, I think. Yeah. Fourth bed of potatoes. These are Maincrop potatoes. Martin's taken off the weed control fabric, and as you can see, there's not an awful lot left of the tops. We have got some potatoes that have already lifted themselves. First row that he's digging are Rudolph. Rudolph are a red potato, and it's now the moment of truth. We've at least got 2, 3, 4.
Put them on the grass, shall I?
Yeah. What are they like? Any damage?
No.
No damage? No sluggies? Oh, look who's speared a large one. Guess we better eat that tonight. This bed suffers from bindweed, doesn't it?
It does indeed. It's
on the edge of our plot, and I just do a very quick swizzle round. You can see that the plot next to us isn't taken at all. So the chances of us getting rid of the bindweed at the moment are negligible. It's bad enough getting rid of it in the middle of the plot, isn't it? There's a tiny one right over there. Well, at least you'll know which potatoes are which, because Nadine is the other one, isn't it? And that's white. It's not too bad, is it?
No.
We've generally been quite pleased with potatoes that we've dug so far this year, haven't we?
Yeah, good crop.
Especially as last year's crop was pathetic, really. We reckon we're going to have more than enough to see us through this year, aren't we?
Yeah.
Some nice sized ones there. Is this our only red one?
Yeah. We never have much luck, do we, with the
No.
red ones, but I've come down to this other route, so.
Oops, I'm stuck. Can see why they're called Rudolph. As in the red-nosed reindeer. Funnily enough, we have a broccoli called Rudolph as well, haven't we?
Yeah. It would be wetter.
Mm.
I'll do this one and I'll move round to those.
It's not very wet at all, is it? Have you just dug one root now or two?
I'm not sure really.
It's always hard to tell when the tops have gone all together. Was that first route the best one then? Or are these okay? There's still some nice big potatoes. At least it's one thing, having had a lot of rain this year. The potatoes have liked it and the cooler weather. We might not have liked it, but the potatoes have, haven't they?
Yeah.
They just didn't like it last year. It's far too dry, and at a critical time it was too hot. Not spared another one at least. Yet. Oh, that's a big one.
What is it?
Definitely chips, that one. I would have thought. Or a lot of mash. Do we know what Rudolph's best for, cooking-wise?
Eating.
Besides eating. You'll be pleased to know we're not going to show you Martin digging the whole row. What we're going to do now is just dig a couple of rows, well, the royal we, a couple of rows of Nadine.
Roots.
Yeah, a couple of roots of Nadine. I've only got one row. See how this compares. Oh, you see those green things there? Just pick up those green things.
What green thing?
There.
Oh, you mean these?
Yeah. Those are the fruits of the potato plant. It just shows how they're related to the tomato, doesn't it?
That one's got blight.
It's got blight.
Yeah, I think that'll develop into blight. That.
How can one potato have blight? These, by the way, these little green fruits are poisonous, so we don't want you to eat them. Has that got blight as well? That's strange. Not much there, is there?
That one.
Well, I don't know about you, but
And that one.
first impression is Nadine might be struck off the list next year.
Well, Nadine's been on the list for years.
Yeah. It's obviously susceptible to blight then, isn't it?
Yeah.
We didn't think it had been warm enough, did we, for...
We've had loads of
Blight.
blight warnings, so
I know we've had blight warnings, but the temperature didn't seem to have been warm enough.
no, you'll have to get. You won't get it with that. You have to get another camera.
Aye,
Some of these look a bit of a waste of time to me.
they do, don't they? There's one just there. You've just covered it up, it's just somewhere around there. Dig a bit deeper. Yeah.
Anyway. And this root, I think, in this one.
Has that one got it as well?
It's alright. Isn't it right? Looking at. I don't think there's much on it. The miles away from root, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, nearly. That was nearly stabbed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's a tiny weeny one there.
Yeah. Right.
That was close to being stabbed.
Yes.
It's a shame because without that it wouldn't have been too bad a crop, would it? It's a weenie one again. The tiny weenie one that you've covered up. Be next year's volunteer.
Yeah.
So that's a couple of roots of each one. So we've got 2 rows of Nadine, which would have been reasonable had it not included quite a few what we think are blighted tubers. And then we have 2 rows of Rudolph, which are really much better, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we'll leave Martin to carry on with digging the potatoes, and we'll come back at the end to see how much we get from each row. So we'll see you in a bit.
Yeah. I have managed to get up these 2 rows of Maincrop potatoes, Rudolph and Nadine. Reasonably pleased. Rudolph has done pretty well. Some good spuds in there. Odd one has a bit of wireworm damage, but that's all. And they look fine to me. Now, as you'll have seen when we started digging the second row of Nadine, I found some that I'm pretty sure have got blight. Now I've put those in a little pile, a little separate pile there, and all the other spuds that came out of there, I think they're alright. But what I'm going to do is, just to see if these at this end have got blight, I'm going to put them somewhere on the plot where I can keep an eye on them, and I think they'll just go soft and squishy. That's what I think will happen as the blight really kicks in. The others I'm going to save separately. I'm not going to put them near any other spuds, and we're going to use these first, because if they have got blight, then it will quickly spread. I can't see any signs of any on these, but obviously some have had blight. Now, these are the first potatoes we've had this year that have got any blight on them, but to be honest, that's not the only occasion we've got blight this year. We've got some on our outdoor tomatoes. In fact, blight has wiped out our outdoor tomatoes, so it's not a case of there isn't any blight. It certainly is. So we'll wander around now to have a look at those potatoes. Let's talk about tomatoes. The ones in the greenhouse are okay, they've survived. They need some sunshine to get some to ripen. But we had some San Marzano tomatoes in the cold frame outside that were going to be for winter use. But they've certainly come down with blight. And if you have a look in there, it's a proper mess. And that's blight on tomatoes. And it's wiped them all out. So we've kept having blight watchers, and I've kept a look out on potatoes, and they've been alright. But obviously I've missed the blight that must have shown up on those Nadines. The other thing we've done today is having harvested or taken home to dry out all our winter, summer grown onions. It can get a bit confusing if you're not careful. All our summer grown onions have gone home. We were hoping to dry them out on the plot, but they just start drying out and we get a heavy shower and back to square one. So we've taken them home to try and dry them out in the cold frame. They went home yesterday, and today our winter onions have gone in this bed and some garlic. The winter onions are radar at the far end. In the middle are senshui yellow, some more yellow ones at this end, and some garlic to finish off with. So I'm wondering now if our last potatoes might have blight. Who knows? Anyway, it will be interesting to see if those spuds do finish up being blighted. I'm pretty sure they are, because sometimes we have blight quite badly. Just as a quick aside, our autumn giants are starting to go a little bit.